Rumble! It's time for the Geopolitical Rumble! Participants include Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Supreme Leader of North Korea Kim Jong-un, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump, the President of the United States, Joe Biden, and a super secret mystery combatant that no one knows anything about. It's time to rumble! We are here in the sold-out Winsock Arena in beautiful New York, and this crowd is ready to rumble! Hello everyone, I'm Vance McMahon. Joining me as always, Jesse the Brain Mullet Venison, and we are set to go as 8 of the finest competitors in the world of professional wrestling. Prepare to go at each other in what can only be described as the greatest spectacle in sprite-based sports entertainment on a shitty YouTube channel history.
Well, McMahon, I think it's hyperbole to say that these are 8 of the finest competitors in wrestling. Let's be honest, physically, these are some of the weakest people alive. And the 2 competitors that weren't born until after the French Revolution, Trudeau and Un, are both the walking embodiment of privilege and infantilism. Quite frankly, I think this Rumble is going to be an embarrassing mess.
And I suppose you think you're an expert in the world of professional wrestling, combat, and politics then, is that right?
Well, McMahon, I don't know where you get that idea. I mean, I'm only a former wrestler, Navy SEAL, and governor, so I guess I would...
And our cameras caught up with the participants earlier this evening to get their thoughts on tonight's match.
Well, I'm very happy to be part of such an inclusive event. I hope Putin likes my socks. Lots of people like my socks. Lots of young people. You know, lots of young people want to have sex with me, too. I miss my coloring books. I forgot them in my room. Dad says I need to clean my room. Okay, bye.
Mr. Kim Jong, did you have anything that you wanted to...
No!
Mr. President, can you give us your thoughts on tonight's geopolitical rumble? You know, like, what's your strategy going to be, and how do you feel about the other competitors? You know, just some general thoughts. You don't have to get real specific. You don't have to get really specific. No thoughts at all. I mean, is there any challenge that your age present? Mr. Putin, can you give us your thoughts on the Rumble?
Other day I take slow child I meet inside hospital to see Space Jam. I deflate the tires in his wheelchair and had building destroyed with him in it.
Why did you do that?
Because that movie was shit.
But wasn't seeing Space Jam your idea?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what does any of this have to do with the Rumble?
No man can kill me. Die now.
Alright, I think I'm starting to get on board with the idea that this thing's just gonna be a mess.
Well, I suppose this wouldn't be the worst time to go over the rules and keys to victory for tonight's Rumble. The first way to be eliminated, as is the most familiar with this type of match, is to be thrown over the top rope. The second is to get pinned for a 3 count. The third is to verbally submit or tap out to a submission hold. And the fourth and most likely way this is going to end for most of these contestants is to simply die in the ring.
And we should also mention that each participant was asked to draw a number at random to determine the order in which each of them would enter the ring, with one entering every 2 minutes or so.
Right, and we see Trudeau coming out first, which is no surprise since when asked to draw a random number, he got out his crayons and drew the number 1 on a sheet of construction paper, because evidently that's as high as he can count.
But it is important to remember that he will enjoy a youth advantage as he is roughly 30 years younger than the average age of the rest of the participants here tonight, Jesse.
Right, McVan. He has the body of a young man and the mind of a toddler. Maybe he can gain an advantage by throwing his diaper at the other combatants.
Oh no, here comes the Barkridge Pulverizer, the shady First Lady, the badass from Arkansas, Hillary Clinton.
And coming in at number 2 should suit her just fine, since she's used to taking second place, whether it's in a presidential election or whether it's to a fat intern. And look at that, right off the bat, Trudeau missing with a punch, even though Hillary stood right in front of him and didn't even bother to move. This is already embarrassing, the fact that he's even struggling at all against a woman, and one who's twice his age at that.
Oh, come on, Jesse. Surely she deserves more of your respect than that. This is HRC we're talking about. The brute in the pantsuit. The hill with the iron will.
Just where the hell are you getting these nicknames from, McVan? I've never once, not in my life, heard anyone refer to her as any of those things.
I'm sorry. Would Crooked Hillary work better for you, Jesse? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Something that's completely unimaginative? Crooked Hillary? Does that work?
Well, it is accurate, but, fair point, McVan.
Hillary and Trudeau now exchanging slaps, and they sound like they sting, Jesse.
Yeah, they both seem very adept at slap
And
fighting.
Hillary with a chop to the throat, and that is gonna make it very uncomfortable to swallow later tonight, Jesse.
Swallow what, McVan?
Food, Jesse. What else would I be talking about? And Trudeau really turning up the heat on Hillary now. You know, as a champion of the marginalized like he is, it must really bother him what she's done to all those transgender people.
Now just what the hell are you talking about, McVan?
Have you been living under a rock, locking them inside that pizza parlor?
What?
The Pizzagate controversy, Jesse! All those she-mails!
God damn it, McVan, the controversy was around emails. Emails, not she-mails. I've told you about huffing fumes before the show. Besides that, referring to transgender people as she-mails isn't exactly very PC. Not that I'm one for political correctness, but that's like referring to little people as midgets and people of color as colored people. Are you trying to get us canceled, McVan? Anyway, while you were carrying on about your transgender Pizzagate nonsense, Vladimir Putin has entered the ring and looks to have given Justin Trudeau an ouchie. Maybe someone in the crowd has a My Little Pony Band-Aid they can give him so he can carry on with the match.
And he carries on with a running forearm smash right to the face of Hillary Clinton.
Now he's injuring himself like he's mankind trying to...
We like to say people kind. It's more inclusive.
And good, that's what you get for saying something so stupid. I hope Hillary
And John for a second, who's this? It's the mystery combatant, Queen Elizabeth!
Wait, she's still alive? She must be 178 years old, McVan. What the hell does she think she's gonna do in a match like this?
I don't know, but she's moving around the ring with cat-like quickness and looks to mean business.
Are you rhyming again on purpose, McVan?
Yes. Do you like
Stop! You know, it's dawning on me now that the more competitors we have in the ring at a single...
Oh, and Queen Elizabeth stomping her hole right into the breadbasket of Hillary Clinton. I'm sorry, Jesse, what were you saying?
Well, what I was trying to say...
And Queen Elizabeth stomping a hole right in the breadbasket a second time.
Son of a bitch, never mind.
No, seriously, the floor is yours. Whatever you want to say, go ahead and say it.
It's really not that big...
And wait a second, did I just see the Queen throw a sickle at the groin area of Hillary Clinton?
It's called the Gooch Gouger, McVan, and she just did it a second time. It's a highly controversial move, used mainly in hardcore matches, but it seems that the ref didn't see it, and it's gonna slide here tonight.
Oh my goodness, it looks like anything's gonna slide here tonight because the Queen just murdered Vladimir Putin right in front of the ref's eye.
Well, it's like I said at the beginning, the most likely way to lose is to die, and now we see Hillary getting off easy in contrast to Vladimir.
And we also see Queen Elizabeth not even wanting to allow Kim Jong-un to step foot in the ring.
Well, there has been controversy recently alleging that the Queen isn't exactly the biggest fan of ethnic minorities stepping foot in her palace, and I think she sees the ring as just that, McVan.
Well, that's just ridiculous. This is the Geopolitical Rumble, after all. What does she think this is? Some kind of Royal Rumble?
Exactly, McVan. It's a stupid concept, and it doesn't even roll off the tongue very well.
And Trudeau and the Queen both taking turns welcoming Kim Jong-un into the ring. And the Queen firing off rapid shots at Trudeau in the corner.
And she follows it up with the patented cunt buster.
And Jesse, what do you suppose the Queen's strategy is behind continuing to attack a lifeless Putin as he lay face down on the mat?
Well, McMahon, I think it's pretty clear that there is no strategy behind it at all. In fact, I think she's suffering from some bizarre form of dementia that causes her to lash out violently at anything and everything in sight. In fact, I'm surprised we haven't seen her gnawing and scratching at a ring post yet.
And there she goes, lashing out at Nancy Pelosi before she can even make it 3 steps down the entrance ramp.
Well, McMahon, at least that makes some kind of sense. It's probably motivated by the Queen not wanting any competition in the wicked old bitch department.
And the action rages on both inside and outside the ring.
So far, I think the Queen has actually spent more time outside the ring.
You may be right, and I think she has her sights set back on Trudeau again. Yes, and it is a gunbuster, and that is gonna do it for Trudeau. He's out of here.
And of course, leave it to Justin Trudeau to be eliminated by an old lady busting her elderly vagina over his head.
Well, Jesse, would you want to continue if that happened to you not only once, but twice?
Well, of course not, McVan. What I'm saying is it would have never happened to me in the first place.
And we have Kim Jong-un and Pelosi going back and forth as the Queen continues her savage attacks on the lifeless Putin.
And look at this, one sickle to the groin later and Putin just gets up and walks away. Maybe there was some strategy to the Queen's savage attacks after all, McVan.
That's a great point, Jesse. She probably knew he was a zombie this whole time.
That's right, McVan. I wasn't suggesting that he was faking his death in an effort to make a comeback later. No, I was suggesting that he was an undead zombie. Anyway, speaking of walking corpses, here comes Joe Biden.
An assassination attempt the moment he gets into the ring. Jesse, the Queen is just shooting everybody. She's shooting them. She's stabbing them. She's cunt-busting them. This woman is insane.
Yeah.
And now it's Queen versus President and House Speaker versus petulant dictator. Queen looking to regain some composure outside the ring and is followed by Biden.
And I can't help but notice the ref's DQ count on Pelosi for using that stranglehold. Meanwhile, the Queen has been allowed to wield an arsenal that would make the Israeli Special Forces blush.
Certainly there does seem to be some negligence on the part of our referee this evening. And if the weapons weren't bad enough, now she's breathing her COVID breath right into the face of Pelosi.
Well, it seems like Pelosi had the right idea wearing that mask into the ring. But both Joe and Kim are unmasked and highly vulnerable. And we all know what happened the last time Joe Biden and COVID-19 were in the ring together.
And COVID or not, this rumble continues, and it is absolute bedlam in there, Jesse.
It is, and it's getting harder as this match goes on to keep track of just what the hell's happening in there. And look who drew lucky number 8, McMahon. One can't help but wonder who he may have bribed to get such a good spot.
And the Queen predictably going on the attack as Trump tries to walk down the entrance ramp, but she is being manhandled by number 45 here, Jesse.
Well, as crooked and scummy as most of these participants are here tonight, I think many of them may have had a few misgivings about beating the shit out of a 95-year-old woman. Not Donald Trump. He'll do whatever it takes to win, up to and including breaking Queen Elizabeth's neck.
And Biden dishing out the low blows like they were hotcakes, as Queen Elizabeth takes a much-needed rest off to the side there, Jesse.
And we finally see some teamwork there from Biden and Pelosi. You'd think we'd see more, considering that they should both want to get Donald Trump out of there.
Do you mean to imply that any of these people have a clue what they're doing, Jesse?
Well, no, actually, that's a pretty good point.
And Biden with an eye gouge to Trump. And Pelosi with some vicious knees to the head of Biden as Trump stands around and ignores slaps from Queen Elizabeth.
And now we see one of the drawbacks to wearing that mask as Pelosi tries to bite the face of the Queen, but can't really sink her teeth in. Nevertheless, the ref continues to count against Pelosi, threatening to disqualify her. Meanwhile, I have to bring it up again, the Queen has repeatedly tried to literally kill everyone in the ring with basically every means at her disposal. And there it is again. What is this, like the 8th time she's fired that gun and still not a peep out of the ref?
Well, he's certainly calling her out now as she tries some of the same tactics that Pelosi used against her earlier with the face biting, Jesse.
Yep, and now he's calling her for holding a chair, so I get it now. Guns, knives, biological attacks, and sickles are all well and good, but don't you dare bite someone or hold a chair. It all makes sense to me now, McVan.
And Pelosi attempting to strangle the life out of Donald Trump, and I think his face may be turning red, but it's a bit too hard to tell because it's just so goddamn orange.
And we just saw the Queen take a shiv to Joe Biden's neck. But at this point, is it really even noteworthy?
And the Queen eliminates Nancy Pelosi, and she is the first one to be eliminated by going over the top rope.
And of course, the Queen's following her to the outside because evidently being eliminated from the Rumble isn't enough. She needs to be eliminated from the planet.
And repeatedly trying to infect Pelosi with COVID, and she's running out of gas doing it, Jesse.
But Pelosi's fighting back tooth and nail, you gotta give her that.
And Biden eliminates Trump, now holding victories over him both at the ballot box and in the ring.
And oh gee, look, the Queen is stabbing someone again.
And Pelosi getting back in the ring. What is it? She's been eliminated. And she's got Biden in an armbar. Just what the hell is going on here, Jesse? She was eliminated!
Well, either this ref is once again dropping the ball, or they decided to change the rules spontaneously. Either way, McVan, I told you, this thing was gonna be a mess. Just go with it at this stage.
And regardless of whatever the hell is happening here, it is Pelosi and Elizabeth, the Speaker and the Queen. They are the final two in the Geopolitical Rumble, and perhaps the last two anyone would have expected to be standing at the end of this thing.
Well, McVan, I think Pelosi certainly looks like the more vigorous of the two right now, and I think the Queen may well have burned herself
Pelosi
out.
gives the Queen a taste of her own medicine, and that is it! It is all over! Nancy Pelosi emerges victorious and is the champion of the inaugural Geopolitical Rumble!
Well, McVan, I'd normally offer up some more of my thoughts on tonight's match, but I think I've had about all I can take for one night. Instead, I'll close with this. Nancy Pelosi did win, but she was also technically eliminated, which just proves that each of the 8 participants were losers, McVan.
It's certainly one way of looking at it, and we are out of time, folks. I am Vance J. McVan. This has been Jesse the Brain Mullet Venison. Good night, everybody!